You're probably asking yourself how a stork, a girl, and a baby wound up in this situation. Let me go back and start at the beginning of the story.
Junior, you know why I built my office entirely out of glass, even though birds can't see glass?
I do not.
Power move.
And we finally getting back into making babies the old-fashioned way. With all that old messy sex stuff going on. Making babies the way that they used to do it back in the 50s from a stork factory.
The way God intended.
The way God intended it. Not with all that sinful penetration and everything that's going on here. And fluids and moisture and all that. And that slime and everything.
Slime?
Slime.
Okay.
That's the way I do it.
Fucking Slimer up here.
Yeah.
Secret of the ooze.
Yeah, when I leave, chicks are covered in slime and mutating and shit.
Baby, grab that ecto cool. You about to get real freaky.
I have sex with a girl, she turned into a turtle and shit. I'm done. But
Mark comes in and takes her out.
with a rock. I must destroy you. Yeah, but this abomination. But people, we're talking about the movie Storks. And in this movie, we got Junior, who is working at an Amazon-type delivery service called Corner Store. That's because Storks, they gave up delivering babies.
Fuck this baby shit.
Fuck this baby shit. Home delivery, products and merchandise. That's where the money is. Babies weren't paying off, man. Too many goddamn babies in this world anyway. And Junior, who's voiced by Andy Samberg, his father, who's running the company, Hunter, voiced by, what's his name, Kelsey Grammer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you know something? One of these days, this could all be yours, but you got to do one thing. You see that fucked up chick over there who's always blowing up the factory? Man, I've been trying to fire her for years, but hey, I got you now.
She's the only human up here.
The only human up here. Orphan Tulip. And when he tries to do that, it goes horribly wrong to the point where, if you see the movie, you'll see all the steps, where she ends up actually producing the first baby in years. And now, Junior and Orphan Tulip, they got to find a way to get this baby out of here without anybody noticing, get this baby to the one person that asked for a baby. And he has to do that or else risk losing his promotion at the job. And with this film right here, man, I have to say that it's Warner Brothers doing what they should be doing right now, and that's setting themselves apart from other studios out there. Because did you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you were there. Because I love the speed of the humor in this movie. Everything, and I don't know what better word to use, it's just snappy, man. It's just one thing after another. The humor is so fast and it's so quick that some of it's visual, some of it's spoken, but it just keeps piling on top of each other, man. It's almost like a traffic jam of gags going on in this film. And, with the humor that's in here, what I like about it still is that, we were just talking about the Magnificent Seven and saying where villains, that's been a problem with a lot of people, man. That was a problem in that movie. Marvel has a villain problem. Most of your villains in animated family films today are flat. But because this is a movie where they just want to concentrate on humor, where they want to make you laugh, even the villains aren't really villains here. They're more just another joke. Hunter, who is probably, he's an asshole. He does things just to mess with people. That's because he just got the power to do it. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't help laugh whenever I saw him. He's kind of like, everybody has one asshole friend, and you can't be mad at it. You see him doing fucked up things, but because it's so funny, Martin's like, yeah, that's you, man. and it ain't funny. But, hey.
I ain't saying nothing because I don't need my email blowing up.
Don't you
ever call me evil again. Don't you ever call me funny again. But you got that one guy out there that who's doing fucked up things, but because he makes it funny, you know you're not supposed to laugh, but you can't help it. That's kind of what the villain Hunter's like in this movie.
You know why I built my office entirely out of glass, even though birds can't see glass?
I do not.
Power move.
Asshole. I mean, you can see that the guy's not a nice guy, but again, the movie just wants to keep moving along to make you laugh. And by the way, that glass joke that they showed right there, that's another thing I admire about the film. They actually set up jokes that play a larger purpose, not only for laughs, but play a larger purpose for the story later on in the film. like that joke right there lends itself to another joke with an action scene where Junior can't see glass and has to escape a pack of wolves, and he has to maneuver through a maze, and Tulip has to get him through, but he can't see anything, and it's funny, man. And you look at that and like, wow, you know what? That's really inspired right there for you to take that joke and expand on it in a way where it's not just a running joke, but you evolved it. At least that's what I'm thinking.
I want to say evolved. I would say I like that almost every joke, if it was set up for something, there wasn't one that was like just left flat. So like you said, the glass moment, they brought that up. The wolves being in here, they kind of related that to some of the people near the end of the movie. So I was like, all right, I dig what they're going with here.
Yeah. It's I think they put a lot of thought into the film, and especially for a movie that moves so fast as it does. I mean, this isn't where they tell a joke and they try to put in some, a little bit of story and emotion right here to pad it out. They keep things going, man. There's stuff in the background happening if it's not happening in the forefront. And the thing about them keeping this going with this, before I even go to that point, I have to say that I like that they didn't use actors just for their voice. I mean, at least to me, like I couldn't tell that was Andy Samberg.
It took me a while.
I didn't know until I went home. I didn't know who they were. They took actors and actually made them act, made them be different characters, and they're not just using them for their names. They're actually using them because they think
Andy
that they fit
Samberg
the character.
played two characters?
I don't know, but they use these actors for characters. They thought they would just fit. Andy Samberg in this, I never even heard him sound like this before. I've watched a lot of clips, and I'm like, man, that ain't you. Quit fucking lying. but with the movie moving so fast, I've seen enough family movies out there where they just really want to like cheaply steal emotions from the audience. They put a little kid in there, they put a little baby in there, they put an animal in there, make it cute, they make them have these sad moments, and that's their way of having characterization in here. That's their way of getting cheap response from you. Here, they could have done that so easy. They have a family in the movie, and the family's voiced by Ty Burr and Jennifer Aniston. And the kid, their parents who don't have enough.
Ty Burrell.
I'm sorry. Ty Burr's an animator. Their parents, modern day parents, they're busy. Both of them work. They have no time for the kid. Man, this could have been a situation where they could have made that kid all sad, put a song in there, try to promote like the latest ballad from some pop star. But they don't do that. They actually, Nate, who's the little kid, they keep it going funny, man. Nate doesn't freak out. He just tells him, he's like, hey, you know what? You go ahead and you work. I understand. He does passive aggressive shit. It was actually pretty funny. Yeah, go ahead and be parents and you're busy. You're supporting me. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Oh, thank you. He just fucked up parents. What? No, do what you got to do. And it's actually really it's a cuteness that's deserved. It's not a cuteness that's forced. It is actually very funny at the turn this up so you can hear the clip. It's very funny at the same time.
What? Follow me. That's our chimney. You're going to destroy the whole roof?
Mom, we have to replace the chimney with a slide for when the storks deliver my baby brother.
What he said.
No, don't be crazy. You cannot do the chimney. Come on, don't make me the mean mom.
Dads are fun, moms are mean.
I heard that.
Parent conference.
Pinching.
Henry, people are going to think we're crazy. We need to tell him.
Tell him what? What, to go watch more TV? This is the best time I've had with Nate in my life. I actually feel like a dad again.
And when no baby brother shows up?
Well, then we tell him. We can get a new chimney, but we'll never be able to replace his time with Nate. And if we put those headsets back on, how old will Nate be when we take him off again?
I'm not a jerky teen yet. Fleeting moments, precious memories.
You're like, oh man, look, that's all he has to do. Show them big ass cartoon eyes and drop some truth. There's never a moment in there like you see, like I like to call the white kid syndrome. Where those kind of like, I hate you, mom, I hate you, dad, just leave me alone. And they're just like, Nate, come back, don't know. They don't ever do that. They actually keep playing it up for laughs in here. And as you hear, especially because he wants a baby brother because he's left alone. They could have mined that for real cheap sentimentality right there, but they don't. I was watching you the whole time though in the movie because I was sitting next to you, and it was another one of those things where I was scared to laugh because I couldn't tell if you were liking it or because he looks at me disapprovingly when I laugh at shit sometimes.
Man.
He doesn't stare at me, but I see that one pupil in the dark just looking at me.
I'm
like,
watching the movie. I'm not even thinking about you.
You laughing at this dumb shit right here.
Please.
Do y'all watch the movies or just watch each other?
A little bit of both. I got one eye looking at the movie, one eye looking at him.
I give Martin's reaction a matinee, but this movie was a full Friday.
Man, I'm getting scared. Like I'm gonna get scolded for liking this. I was really curious to see how you felt about this, man.
Well, I think the animation's beautiful, and you're right. There's so many great visual gags in it, and I got plenty of chuckles. But I didn't like this movie.
Man, I knew it. I knew it.
I did not like it. Like that hyperactivity you're praising it for. I hated that. It's like from the moment they introduce Orphan Tulip, it's like, oh, there's Orphan Tulip, and she's all. I was like, oh, fuck, another hyperactive character. Well, hopefully she's that one and everybody else will be cool. It's like, no, every character on here, I'm like, I want to just shove Ritalin down somebody's throat. It's like, man, they don't know how to like have the ebb and flow, how to balance it out. Mm-hmm. Every character is loud. Every character is overactive. Every time they have a good gag, most of the time they can't resist going back to it 1 to 2 or 3 more times. You're right about the voice actors, except with the case of Ty Burrell, who's playing the exact same character he does on Modern Family. I mean, the exact same character.
I don't watch Modern Family, so
the fun dad.
Yeah, that kind of goofy fun
why
dad.
you chosen then?
and there's like way too many villains. I mean, maybe they aren't all villains, but they're being pursued by so many different things. And then the way the big climax with the villain. That shit goes on forever.
Well, you know what, man?
He keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. I'm like, for fuck's sakes.
It was funny.
In this in one thing.
This is the reason why I knew we weren't liking it, because there's a part sometime in movies where I would laugh and I just see his ass sinking more than his seat. There's this bird called Pigeon Toady. And
God!
And I was laughing my ass off, and Martin was just getting angry through the whole thing.
I wasn't getting angry,
man. I don't blame you because you were a little irritated. Pigeon Toady right there. He can be an irritating character, and by all means, I'm not gonna lie. I should be irritated by him.
You pulling a Tony Guerrero on me with this character. Every time he came and said, "Yeah, brah," you were like,
man. If y'all don't,
right,
people know us. You remember Tony, but Tony is a guy that we used to do reviews with, and he loved Adam Sandler's movie. And there was one movie, what was it, The Zookeeper, where Adam Sandler was the voice of a monkey, and every time that monkey came on and talked like this, he just stood up there.
And that was one of those shitty movies I walked out of.
I know you did, and I couldn't blame you then. And the whole time I felt like, yeah, I'm Martin's Tony today. And the character is annoying, man, but I don't know, I couldn't help it.
You catch the game last night?
Excellent
Real great game. Yeah, too bad about the last quarter.
Yeah, that was too bad.
Real bummer.
And yet then with a little time left, we pulled it out.
Totally.
Yeah, only to lose it again in the last second.
Such a disappointment.
It was a come down.
Only to get it back.
Best day of my life.
Only to lose it.
Worst day of my life.
Only to get it back.
The roller coaster of a game.
Only to lose it again.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
I was saying,
okay, you ain't lying.
Man, this is the one time I said, please let Martin hate this movie.
Yeah, what would you have done? Spend my time gathering that clip.
Because I had to search for that clip too, right? That's a clip from an old short that we did back in the day when Martin's choking somebody, screaming. I said, man, I hope my reaction is right.
I'm choking Tony in this age.
Yeah, you choking me. I said, man, I hope I'm reading him right. Otherwise, I would have to be real quick right here.
Oh, you sure you didn't hate it?
Yeah, Martin, you didn't like it.
But if you had hated it, how would that have gone?
I would have played this shit anyway. Just laugh myself. That's crazy. But no, I get what.
That's funny. Even this concept of the Storks, like that was on its way out when I was a kid back in the '60s. It was just it just kind of lingered over, and then maybe it carried over into the '70s with Vlasic Pickles because they had a stork. But the whole idea of like storks delivering babies, I'm sure,
Vlasic Pickle.
like I would think even millennials would be going like, wait, what is that now?
No, we know about it. Like we were told the story, but we only heard it like one time,
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
was it. So yeah,
we're
we're
build a
aware.
whole movie on it. We're like, oh, you know how this used to happen. You're like, What? No. What are you talking
Well,
about?
the reason why, my reasoning for that is that's what they say in the movie. Nobody remembers what Storks did, and you don't need to know that. All you need to, I mean, that's part of the joke. Where if you don't know, well, here's the reason why.
And I get that. Just for me, it didn't sell that concept, but that's minor compared to this.
What about you, Corey?
I didn't want to interrupt him.
I'm sorry. I thought you ran out of words.
I'm saying, like, just the ADD pacing of it just ground me down. I was just like, I just want this to be over. This is the kind of cartoons I hate.
No, I got you.
I mean, I don't hate this movie, but I was not digging it.
Mark, that's why I stopped because it looked like the movie was just beating you down. You look like you just couldn't do it anymore. You're like this. I mean, it's just sigh. But you know what? Okay, that is a good point you bring up. That millennials don't know about storks. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about that?
Don't know about segues either, apparently.
No, I'm really asking because you do bring up. I want to know that.
I mean, growing up, a kid. I think everyone's told about. Oh yeah, at some point, storks brought kids. Like you're told that in like kindergarten and first grade. Then you get sex ed. But I love the frantic pace of this movie. Like just being that ADD. Like if something was bad, it didn't last too long. Outside of Pigeon Tony, who I wanted to strangle throughout this whole movie, especially his song number. But I love Martin's like I hate everybody. But yeah, man, it being so chaotic, it reminded me of the Lego movie in that aspect where like if something hit, like it was great and you're like, all right, then the next one hit, then the next one hit. But if something didn't hit, it would be gone and then you'll like the next scene that's happening. Mm-hmm. Also like the pace of this movie because you weren't really dealing with one problem for a long time. Like obviously there's an overarching thing. We got to get this baby to blah blah blah. But you're up at the corner store. You're in the Arctic. You end up elsewhere and elsewhere and elsewhere. So there were a bunch of scenes. There were a bunch of jokes that actually were set up and paid off at the end, like you said earlier. Mm-hmm. So like that's something I really dug about this movie.
Yeah, and look, I gotta tell you, there were things in this movie that I did not like that are exactly what you're talking about. Some characters that are just way too frantic. Some characters that are way too crazy. And just seem to not really lend itself to the movie. What is it, Key and Peele? Which one is it? One of the guys from Key and Peele does the voice.
They're both in
of
here.
these wolves.
Yeah, but it's both of them are in there.
Yeah,
Key and Peele are
Yeah.
doing. Oh, so I guess they're the guys who are doing like the alpha male fighting in here.
Yeah.
And
The
I just
fatter
thought,
one and the thinner one.
Yeah, and that's why I said, you know what? They're just putting them in the movie because they're Key and Peele. This is the celebrity cameo right here, or the celebrity voices that they got here to sell the film. And the characters didn't seem to lend themselves to anything. They just seem to be there just to actually be funny. And when I say funny, just do funny voices.
Listen, I'm the alpha. I'm gonna eat this thing first. I'm gonna be the new alpha. No, there's no need for a new alpha. I'm the alpha. You're not even.
Peele is like, man, I'm not that fat.
I know.
Like don't be just slightly more weight than your partner because if they ever do caricatures of you, you're gonna be the fat one.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that was the thing about them. Like with the wolves, you're like, all right, when they talk, I don't want to hear them, but when they go through their whole gag of changing to different stuff, I love that.
Man,
part.
that's what made I said. You know something? I didn't like when they just had them there and they were just fighting and just bickering with each other just for saying, look how they're bickering with each other in funny voices. It's like, wow, man, stop. Just stop. These characters are lending themselves to nothing in this film. But then when they start turning into Voltron.
I loved that part.
Man, there's a part in here where they just go to, this is what I'm talking about, when they just go to absurd levels. Mm-hmm. Like Warner Brothers gives their animators drugs and just lets them go. This freaked me.
Well, they're always closing their studios, so they're like, look, this is probably your last job, so just go nuts.
Or maybe they just lose so much money they started actually getting drug users in, drug addicts to animate for them write the stories, because there's a point where the wolves out of nowhere just start transforming into different objects. Like in this scene where it just gets weird. In this scene, they transform into a bridge.
Second wolves! Wolf pack! Form of Wolf Bridge.
What is happening?
That was the same. I was like, what the fuck is happening right
And
now?
that's the thing too, because like the characters and seeing all this crazy stuff are having the same reaction. You're like, what's going on? And they even threw that Jean-Claude Van Damme reference in there for millennials. But you remember when he was between the trucks and did the split?
Yeah, when he got to the top.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at this, it was so weird to me. I was like, can wolves do that? You know, I like maybe
well, some of them are really far.
Yeah.
But even those are like, you're like, they turn into something. You're like, well, they got to breathe at some point. Then they do. You're like, oh, okay, I dig it.
Yeah, man. There's that's a running gag to the movie that it just kept getting more absurd and more surreal. And I love that about the film. As I was saying, and I meant it, Warner Brothers, they're doing what they should be doing. They're not copying what other people are doing. They're not trying to be Disney. They're not trying to be Pixar. They really are bringing in artists and letting them do LSD and then letting them go and do their own thing. Their movies are insane. Between the Lego movie, the Lego Batman trailer, and this, they don't give a fuck. And it's Mark's like, you goddamn right they don't.
But you like Lego movie, right?
I like it okay. I didn't love it like everybody else, but I like it.
So that's just and you know what?
It could be just like that sense of humor just not for me.
And I even took a note right here to say, because sometimes y'all like, man, I'm tired of Korey getting mad when nobody agrees with him. Oh, that's too bad, because that's not the last time that's going to happen. But I did say, this right here, this is a movie that just, it depends, man, on who you are, your personality. Sure. It really is a movie that I think I'm going to say divisive, but you can't blame somebody for not liking it, because the movie is so ADD, man. It's not for everyone. The movie, if this kind of fast pace, this kind of frantic film is not, or story, or animation is not your thing, then so be it. For me, for some reason, it is. And I usually don't. I usually am the one to say I don't like how frantic these things are, but that's because people can't keep up the same kind of cleverness, can't keep up the same kind of jokes. And even I would go as far as to say, this actually, the frenzy of this movie, the frantic feel of it, actually took the animation a level up, because these could have been average designs, but because they had to work with such an insane story and insane voices and characters, it bumped up the design for me a little bit. These characters actually look really cool, and I would say that even looks a little different from some of the films that are out there. It's kind of unique itself. See, Mark, you laughing, see?
Hey, I said there's times, there are things in it that are funny, and I got some laughs out of it. I wouldn't give it some old bullshit. I mean, I see the artistic merit of it, but for the most part, it does a lot of what I don't like at all.
And you know what? I will agree with you on one thing. The character of Hunter in the movie, the Kelsey Grammer bird, there's some things that they do with him where I agree I didn't understand it. And there's a point in this movie, damn, I shouldn't even say anything right now. Okay, I'm just going to say spoiler alert real quick, because maybe I missed something, but I got to ask.
Is it the part about what he does to the lesser birds? Like torturing those birds? Because I was like, that's a little weird.
You can see in the beginning of the scene right here where he's squeezing a bird. He uses like his minion birds as his playthings, squeeze toys, stress relievers, golf balls. And there's a moment where they get their revenge on him, and I'm thinking, all right, he wasn't that bad.
He was. All that stuff he was doing to them.
But he didn't kill him. They came in. I ain't gonna say no more. But I was just thought like, that's a little harsh for this dude to have to suffer.
Well, they kept doing the thing of like, we got rid of him. No, he's back. We got rid of him. No, he's back. And it's like, all right, at this point, all you can do is kill him.
Yeah,
I mean, and he did attempt to kill other people.
Okay,
so.
I guess I can't even say anymore. There was just some weirdness going on at the end of this movie right here, and that's one of the complaints that I have. It's a personality thing. What would you give it?
I give it a rental.
A rental? What about you, man?
I'm teetering between a matinee and a full price, man.
I'm going full price. Go ahead. Go full price. Let's do it together. Let's fly into the clouds together with full price.
Yeah.
You know you liked it, man.
Walk out on his flashlight beam with me.
You're going to turn it off.
You loved it.
I did, man. This is a full price movie.
It's a full price movie.
I had a great time watching this, man. And even watching it, I had the same feeling I had with Lego movies. Like, I can't wait to own this because I want to watch it again with all these colors, this quick movement, because I'm sure there's things, because it moves so fast, that I missed.
Yeah, I understand. I would think that more people.
I just didn't love the personalities of any of the characters.
I think that more people would think like you, to be honest, Martin. I'll tell you that right now because I think it will get on people's nerves. I think, it's. What's up?
I think a lot of adults will think that way, but I mean, kids going in there's no way they want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the movies that we've had this year, like Ice Age, where kids were visibly bored in that movie. They're looking around outside of the kids crying because they were scared at some points. A lot of kids were just laughing their asses off. It was great.
That was a girl behind Martin. And they showed that Lego short before, and that girl was loving it.
Oh,
she
yeah.
said, "Go chicken, go chicken, go chicken." That lasted for about 5 minutes. Martin looked at me like, "I'm gonna kill this bitch."
There was some girl
And that Lego short went on for days.
It was a bad short.
Yeah, it was a bad short and it was long. But there was a girl behind me that was reading everything, any word that popped up on the screen. Corner store, stork. I'm like,
she was 35 years old.
it was rough, man.
She just got her GD.
I was telling Corey, I thought it was funny how we were seeing a movie that's all about like, aren't babies wonderful? While we're in a theater full of screaming babies that are talking at the screen.
Yeah,
it was the worst kind of kids in a movie theater experience I think I've ever had.
Martin, I was laughing next to you. You didn't like it. I was like, yeah, pigeon Tony.
You one of them.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll say this: I will not take your girlfriend or your wife to see this because they might get baby crazy after this.
Ooh, don't do it. Or they might actually see your relationship up on the screen. Like Junior is a stork and Olive Tulip is a human. And when that baby came in, she ruined their relationship. They would fight like a married couple.
Yep.
You get up and get the baby. You get up and get the goddamn baby.
I like that too. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. The way they subtly introduced that. The only thing that I had to say, it was.
Nothing subtle in this movie.
No, okay, you said that when we left the theater, because we talked a little bit, not what we thought about it, but I was like, I thought it was kind of subtle with some parts where they had, the wolves, how they're dynamic, and then you kind of see it at the end. You're like, all right, I like how they did that. Mark's like, that ain't subtlety. I was like, I thought it was okay.
I don't know. I liked it, man. The only thing I would say at the end that weirded me out, besides the some things that happened with the main villain, is and I'm being honest, I was like, man, how shitty would you feel if you saw storks delivering babies all around and you wondering why you got delivered to some projects or some white trash trailer park? There are kids at the end of the movie. I saw some kids looking at their mama like, wow, you were sorry as hell. Did I lose some kind of baby lottery? Why the stork drop me off with you? I was looking at that because in the movie, they show babies being dropped off in the most pristine places.
Of course.
People love them. They don't ever show them getting dropped off where some woman's out in the front yard smoking or doing heroin or something. Oh, my baby. What's that?
Don't you?
Yeah. Doesn't everybody? And back in my day,
we shoot heroin and wait for the stork to come.
We're gonna destroy the whole roof? We have to replace the chimney with a slide for when the storks deliver my baby brother.
What he said.
Dads are fun, moms are mean.
I heard that.
Moms are fun too!
Put down that baby.
Are you in love? I am in love. Are you in love? I'm in love too. I agree.